Hello do-it-yourselfers, I'm Terry Peterman, the Internet Electrician. Welcome to another one of my video shorts on current topics. Let's get started. So in today's short video, we're just going to take you through the steps in changing a light fixture. This one here is in the dining area of a friend's home, and she's got a new fixture she wants to replace this one with. So we'll get started on that, but first things first, as always, let's go shut off the breaker. So now that I've got the breaker shut off, I just checked the light switch again to make sure, and I'm certain that we have no power here. So the first step here to removing the old light fixture, this is fixture chain and a jam nut here that you have to undo to drop the canopy down over the chain. Here we've got our ground wire, our black hot, and our white neutral. So we just take those splices apart, then we have to remove these two screws and drop down the fixture bar, and then we'll assemble our new fixture. I like to always remove the black wire first, then the neutral, so I've got my black, my white, and it looks like I'm going to have to remove this bar to get that ground wire unhooked. Alright, so having a closer look here, there's only the fixture chain, the ground to the fixture itself only comes up through the ferrule here and screws onto the mounting bracket. Is mounted to a screw on the mounting bracket, I should say. This should actually be spliced with the ground wire and pigtailed off to the box as well. I'm going to have a look to see how I could fix that up after I get the old fixture out of the way here. And using a Phillips screwdriver, support the fixture with one hand. I've loosened these so I can finish them off with one hand and support the weight of the fixture with the other. Wouldn't be a bad idea to have someone helping you at this point, just to take the weight of that fixture. And of course we have about a 2-inch screw to do the job of a 1-inch screw. These are 832 outlet box screws, and we've got a pancake box here. Wow, this is a long one. But it's firmly mounted to the ceiling, I can see that. Wow, this is a really good time to have a 2-inch machine screw. Maybe 3-inch. Okay, lucky that came down before my arm fell off. So here's the fixture we have to work with. It's a Transglobe model, whatever. I'm going to go through the assembly instructions here step by step. And I'm not going to go through that with you because pretty much any fixture you get is going to have its own unique set of instructions. A lot of things will be the same, but some are different. So it's just a matter of following this through step by step. Here it tells you preparation. First thing, of course, we've already been through, shut off the breaker and remove the old fixture. So I'm going to step through all this process until we're ready to hang the fixture, and we'll show you how to reconnect the new fixture. Alright, so I've got the fixture unboxed and all the plastic taken off it, and we're ready to get at the installation. First step they said here was to put this nipple with the hex nut onto the mounting strip, and then we attach a mounting strip to the junction box. So we'll move up there for that step. All right, before I go put that strap back up on the pan box, notice my crock wire stripping tool also has some bolt cutters on it. Hole for 832, hole for 632. So what you do is you thread that long bolt through there, cut it at the right length, and then when you thread it back out of the tool, your threads are good. And now I have 2 fixture screws of the same length, so we don't go through that extra 600 turns of the screwdriver. So we'll put the fixture strap back up in place. Now this ground wire had some kind of a grounding clip onto the edge of the pancake box. I took that off and I actually wrapped the ground wire around the box grounding screw, and hopefully there's enough wire here that I can bring that fixture ground wire up through the tube, ground it to the fixture strap, and then leave the tail long enough and get a small moret onto the actual cable ground. Okay, straps on. Snug those machine screws up nice and tight. Give a pull on here. This box is one thing I'll give them, it's well mounted. They must have planned on a ceiling fan here, or at least the ability to hang one with no worries. Okay, on to the next step. So this piece threads onto the top of the fixture. Snug it down good with your hand. Now we have to just assemble the rest with our fixture chain, get the right length, put our canopy back over top of the chain, and go on to the next steps in the assembly process. So the old fixture was hung at about the right height, so what I did is I stood the old one up beside the new one here, stretched out the chains, and I just put a bend in the wire here, so that's how much chain I'm going to need from here to the canopy, and then leave myself 8 or 10 inches of wire to splice, to make my splices inside the box. So I'll cut this wire off and put my fixture chain on. So I counted up the correct amount of links just to make that work for us, and it was 7. So what you have to do, you'll see the fixture chain, they have a split in them so you can bend them apart. So any way you find useful, I just use my crocks here and I could bend that back to open up that loop and get rid of the extra chain. And I have to do the same here to fix it to the bottom part of the fixture. So I'll show you how to do that. Could put a protective cloth or something on the chain there just so you don't scratch a finish like I probably did. Anyhow, that's how you split apart that fixture chain. So I got my chain assembled. I've left one open link for the top hook. When you run your fixture wire through the chain, miss every second one and go in one side, miss a link, and back in the other, so that when you pull it all together, the chain is going, or the fixture wire is going up nicely through the chain. And it makes a nice finished product when you're done. Now here's a very important part not to forget with any suspended fixture like this, suspended from a chain. Put your jam nut over top of the wires and over top of the chain. Get that down and out of the way. And do not forget your canopy. Slide that canopy as well through the wires. over top of the chain. So jam nut first, canopy second. Then you're ready to thread that onto your ferrule up there on the box mounting tab. Run your cable, your fixture wire up through, and then hook it on and bend the loop back together. So we'll go up and do that. But do not forget that canopy, because I will say there's been times when I've had the fixture hung, splices made, and realized I forgot that step. Okay, ready to bring the fixture up and hang it. Need to run my wires up through the tube. A little tricky with a shallow box to get the wires to come around the corner. Okay, so pull them up there, making sure you feed the wires, push them up. You don't want to pull. You don't want to scar the wires going up through the tube. I'm just going to hang this so I can use two hands. Okay, again, make sure the nut down over top of the chain. Fixture chain up through the canopy. And then we'll just hang that down while we finish the wires off here. Not a lot of room to work, like I mentioned here with the pan box. Okay. All right, I'm ready to make my splices. All right, we're ready to make the connections here. Now you see this ground screw on the strap, little green screw. I'm going to take the fixture ground wire and wrap it 180 degrees around that. And then tighten that screw, making sure all the strands are tucked in underneath it. There's two little bumps on the opposite side here that you can't see that actually help hold the wire 180 degrees around that screw so it doesn't push out. Then I'm going to bring it over to this side and try to get a moret on that little stub of 14 gauge that I wrapped around the box grounding screw, and hopefully I can get that connected to my fixture ground wire. So I'm going to cut that off a little shorter. I'm going to hold the ends of the wire nice and even, and then using a small wire nut, I'm going to attempt to get a good splice on that short wire. I've only got about an inch to work with there. But every metal part should be grounded, and if we can get this splice made, we achieve that. Got enough room just to spin that wire nut on. Okay, I think it worked, but to make sure, I want to just tug on the fixture ground to make sure it's connected firmly with the bare cable ground that supplies the box. And I'm pulling on that and it's spliced firmly to that wire nut. So we got lucky there. Got our grounding all done properly. Now on to the neutral. Now with lamp cord, fixture wire like this, the identified conductor is the neutral. So you just have to feel the wire when it's together, the lamp cord, and one of the conductors will have a little sharp ridge on it and the other one will be smooth. So the one with the little sharp ridge, that's your neutral. I'm going to just put a bend in that. Strip it. Tie that onto the neutral. It's always tough splicing stranded wire to solid, but if you get the ends completely even and then carefully spin on your wire nut so that it grabs both the solid conductor and the stranded at the same time, it'll firm up and you know you've got a good splice. And again, you want to tug on that black wire, that stranded wire, and make sure it's in that splice good and solid. And it is. Now we'll do the hot. Always tricky to try and keep my hands out of the way of the camera. Okay, so if you can see there, get the two wires right even at the end, and then carefully start that wire nut, making sure it's grabbing both conductors evenly. Snug it up firmly, and again, pull on that wire. Make sure it's not going to come out of the splice. And then we'll tuck these back up into the box. Again, not a lot of room in a pan box, but we've also got a little extra space with the canopy, the fixture canopy. Always make sure nothing's pinching, make sure all the wires and the splices are within the confines of the outlet box. Okay, everything's good there. Slide the canopy up. First I have to bend that link of the fixture chain back into place. And I'm going to use some plastic here so I don't scratch the finish of it. We had lots of chains, so I replaced that link that I did scratch the finish off of earlier. Okay, just about back together perfectly. All right. Slide the canopy up, and we've got to adjust this just a little bit tighter by threading that up further so that you've got room for the threads of this lock nut, now the jam nut. And just finger tight. Okay, now we've got to finish the final steps of the assembling, or not the assembling, but the straightening out of all these arms. I'll show you from a different angle here. poke that insulator back up in there. All right, so now we just have to move all these arms so they're evenly spaced. They're all pressed together for the packaging, so it fits nicely in the box it came in. And I suppose you could do some measuring on this, but I think for now an eyeball is good enough. In the final steps of this, there's some decorative covers and your candelabra bulbs, lamps. You finish that, repeat that process for all 6, and then we'll go turn the breaker back on and make sure it all works. All right, so I've switched the breaker back on. Now it's time to try the light switch. And there you go, all 8 arms are lit up. If it was me, I think I'd put LED candelabras in there, dimmable, and put a dimmer switch on this fixture because that's going to be plenty bright. 8 times 4 is 320 watts. But that should give you nice light here in the dining room / kitchen area. Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching. I hope that you learned something useful from this video. My goal is to help you out with your small home electrical projects or minor repairs, and to help you complete them both safely and competently. Please feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel here. And for more helpful information, visit my website at electrical-online.com. And if you'd like to learn more about home electrical, my program, The Basics of Household Wiring, is simply the best electrical educational information you will find. And it's available as a DVD or an instant download. I also use this information as the core material for my best-selling course at udemy.com called Learn the Basics of Household Wiring, the Electrical System A to Z. And of course, you can find me on Facebook and Twitter. But what if you need help with something right away? I'm one of the experts on the Magnify app. That's Magnify with an I. You download the app and search for the Internet Electrician from your smartphone. You can get instant assistance. And I'm also a certified expert on the JustAnswer.com team. There are links below in the description here to everything that I've told you about. So until next time, thanks for watching. I'm Terry Peterman, the Internet Electrician.